Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me. We are doing a Mystery Mystic reading. This is part 2 to the Eunice Dwumfour readings I've done, okay? So part 1 is the opening oracle reading. If you haven't already done so, please check it out. I also give an introduction into her story, what happened. So if you want a bit more information about this case, check out part 1. We're now going to do the detailed tarot and oracle reading. I'm not just feel my way through here. I've got my questions here to the side, and let's just go ahead and get to it. So Spirit, what happened in the moments leading up to the shooting? Like, was she scared? Was she okay? Was she comfortable? Okay, we have love and legal. What was going on there? Knight of Wands. Okay. All right, so this is interesting to me because leading up to the moments, when we're talking about moments, what we're talking about here is, yes, we could be talking about the seconds, minutes, even the days or weeks leading up to her untimely death, okay? And the Knight of Wands is about passion. It's about pursuing some things, pursuing someone, pursuing a goal, pursuing lust. It could be about attraction. It also could just simply be about being a go-getter, maybe helping someone, giving someone a ride. A male, love. There was love, but there was also some sort of legal arrangement that was formed out of this whole connection, this dynamic. And legal could be, we have court, paperwork, or filed. Legal could run the gamut, right? Especially as it relates to someone you may love. It could be custodial issues, child support. It could be a marriage certificate. It could be a divorce decree. It could be other legal types of arrangements, business, contract. But because this is saying love in this, and then we got the Knight of Wands, this is telling me that this is a dynamic that is not so much about personal, it's personal. It's not professional. It can have some professional components to it, but what I'm sensing here is that this is in the moments leading up to her death. She was doing some things she loved to do. She felt like she was around the people she loved being with, who she adored and admired. But there was somebody who maybe loved and admired her. Someone that maybe she was even in a legal sort of arrangement with. Okay, Knight of Wands. It could be the weeks preceding that Spirit wants to talk about. There's something important within, let's say, 12 weeks preceding her death that is important, or an important component to what has happened to her now. Check out part 1 because there was interesting stuff that came up surrounding her spiritual ties. After I did part 1's oracle reading, what was interesting to me is I found a New York Post article afterwards. And in that article, it was saying that she actually has important roles in the church she attends. And she did marry a man who is based in Nigeria, a Nigerian pastor. But there's been like this idea that maybe it was not arranged, but like there was someone who kind of brought them two together. And her family, she's American. She's born in the United States, but her family's from Ghana. So it's just an interesting dynamic going on here. But nevertheless, I also, with this Knight of Wands, if we're talking about the moments leading up to her death, this could be a tempestuous male that she was dealing with on the night in question. And someone near her vehicle. This is a white horse. Was she giving somebody a ride? She had a white Nissan. Okay. What was also interesting, I believe in that article, that same New York Post article that I read last night, a neighbor had said that they thought that they saw the assailant talking to her before the shooting took place and before this assailant took off. So that's interesting as well, I thought. So we'll see how this all plays out here. Okay. Next question. Did Eunice know the shooter? Did Eunice know the shooter? One card, please, Spirit. Did the shooter, was she familiar with the shooter? Okay, I had to reverse. All right. She was familiar with this person, somebody she was going through a cycle with, an up and down situation. We have the Wheel of Fortune. If you look carefully here, it says yes. She was familiar with this shooter, okay? Ups and downs, unpredictable energy I'm picking up on here. What was the relationship like, Spirit? What was this relationship like? With whom she knew this person? She knew them. Okay. Ace of Swords in reverse. Knight of Pentacles. Someone that's not very responsible. Someone who's not maybe good with money. Lost their way, ups and downs in life. Even as recently as a month back, with the Ace of Swords representing 1 month, either from today or a month back from when the incident occurred. There was just this, I don't know, unsettled energy. They entered a new cycle, and there may have been some words, some arguments, some exchanges going back and forth about the irresponsibility or how this person was moving. They weren't moving in a responsible way with money, their life, or just what they were in charge of managing. It just seemed like they fell off. But nevertheless, from what I understand, she was a very loving person. And so even I would imagine if she's a loving person, she's probably a forgiving person, trying to see the good in people. Yeah. Conflict, arguments, clashing. Cheating, cheater, infidelity. Now, of course, this could represent some sort of relationship. I have to say, her husband's in Nigeria, her new husband. Remember, she got married a few months back. Her new husband is in Nigeria. I don't know if he, how often he came to the States or when was the last time he was in the States. I don't have that information. If you all know that, please drop it in the comments section for me. Cheating doesn't always necessarily refer to infidelity. It can refer to someone who's cheating someone out of money, just someone who keeps secrets, doing things underhandedly, and maybe being confronted. In part 1, that came up in the oracle reading, that there was some sort of confrontation, someone being called out about their wayward ways. Okay. All right. So she knew this person, the dynamic about a month prior to had become a bit contentious because, and we say that because of the conflict, arguments, and clashing. They were clashing over something. Ups and downs with this person that she was experiencing. Okay. Now we're going to change gears a bit. We're going to ask about her marriage to her new marriage, right? She has a 12-year-old daughter. She was a single mom, from what I understand, a long time. So I don't even know if the daughter's father is remotely in the picture. So I'm not going to ask about him today. If we get additional information, we could do a part 3 and dive into that aspect of it. But we're going to just ask now about her new marriage, her new husband. So Spirit, what are the energies surrounding Eunice's marriage and her, about the marriage? And then we're going to get a card about her husband and about her marriage. What's the energies? 10 of Wands. That's a bit interesting. We'll talk about that in a moment. Give me a card representing the husband, Eunice's husband, the Nigerian pastor. The Magician in reverse. All right. Did her marriage, her new marriage, have anything at all to do with her death? And this doesn't necessarily mean, and I was just going to say this, the Queen of Swords is answering it right for me. Doesn't necessarily mean he had a direct hand in it, okay? But sometimes her getting married could have ticked somebody else off. It could be somebody don't like her husband, or they wanted her for themselves, or it could be that that maybe they wanted him, or maybe they wanted what they have together, or it could be that some kind of business arrangement's gone wrong surrounding the marriage. It doesn't necessarily mean that he had his hand in it. And so we got the Queen of Swords. So let's talk about that for just a sec. Did the marriage have anything to do with her death? If you look carefully here, it says maybe. So it's one of those things that it's not the sole reason, perhaps, but it definitely has an influence and colors the situation. The marriage colors the situation. It influenced what led up to her death, allegedly, okay? Now, let's talk about their marriage for a moment. I want to talk about their marriage because I find it interesting that we've got the 10 of Wands as a card that represents the energy of their marriage. You would expect, you would expect with a new marriage, newlyweds, that it would be 2 of Cups, the Lovers, maybe Ace of Pentacles. There's certain cards I would expect to see, 10 of Cups even, not 10 of Wands. I wouldn't necessarily expect to see this. How is it that they, are newly married and it's already kind of like this arduous, heavy burden to carry and to move forward? Now, they do live on 2 different continents. So sometimes what this can symbolize is that this war on them, or maybe they're just, they're okay with having the transcontinental kind of relationship. And maybe this is representing that cycle of what they were going through is coming to an end. 10s are about endings and new beginnings. So it could be that. So we're going to look at the oracle to give us guidance on more about that. Spirit, can you give us more insights about Eunice's marriage to her new husband? Yeah, Spirit wanted this card to come out. Okay. We have hamster wheel, surviving, daily hustle. Somebody in this dynamic was hustling, barely surviving. Maybe looking forward to a new beginning, a new cycle. maybe it was a hassle to be in a long distance relationship. I'm not sure. But we've got dollar signs here. That's interesting. Not what you expect to see in a new marriage, but man, I don't know. I don't know. Hamster wheel. And I don't know if she was struggling financially. I mean, from what I understand, she's college educated. She was an analyst. She was a New Jersey councilwoman. So I don't know if she was struggling financially. So who in this dynamic was struggling financially? Who was surviving or in a daily hustle kind of grind? Again, not trying to shed negative light on him. It's neither here nor there. You know, these are just my intuitive hits, in which some people would say these are just your opinions, and that is true. But, yeah, I don't know. And then synchronicities, things lining up. Pay attention to the signs, folks. That's what this card is telling us. There's signs here. One thing I'm not a fan of in this particular reading about her husband is the Magician in reverse, because it can represent a form of trickery or magic gone wrong. People who, you know, try to pull the wool over your eyes, a manipulator. I'm not trying to accuse her husband of being a manipulator. He could be a mighty fine man. He's a pastor after all. But I do find that upsetting, I guess. Oh my goodness. Liar, pathological liar, and caught lying. Now, just because all this is going on doesn't necessarily mean he had anything to do with her death. But it does, the Queen of Swords was like, with that maybe energy, it could have something indirectly to do with it. And you know, sometimes they say pastors, and, you know, forgive me for thinking this or saying this, but I have some experience with it, that sometimes they do a lot of double talk, talking out the side of their mouth, promising things. You would think a pastor or a preacher or a man of the cloth would be, you know, only speaking truth or only living an upright life. And I'm sure this gentleman maybe is, but the cards are saying something else. So saying something else here. They're saying something else. I don't know what to make of that. Well, how about this? Why don't we ask this? How is he doing? Let me zoom out. How is he doing financially? So if he's balling and doing great. Options. He's exploring his options. Trying to create multiple streams of income. Trying to go through the golden door. Exploring all the options. Maybe this is just simply he's exploring options on how he can make this work, this transcontinental marriage work. But exploring options could be all sorts of things pertaining to his finances. I do sense with the Queen of Swords that they communicated well, that they did well, like in her mind about her husband, they did well independently. I don't sense that she felt necessarily the need to be with each other in the same house all the time. Like she was okay with the dynamic that they were in. So I will say that with this card, with the Queen of Swords, okay? But there are some interesting energies here. What else do you all think of when you think of the reverse magician? What else comes to mind for you when you think of that? I was reading a book, I think it's called Conjure Woman. It's a fictional story, like a historical fictional story. And they call it, you know, the woman, the main character was like, the preacher's kind of like a snake oil salesman, you know, and I'm not saying that this is him, but when this card came up, that's what popped up in my mind. I'm gonna be honest. That's what popped up in my mind. All right. Now we want some clues, Spirit, on who shot her. Let me see. Who shot her? One card, please. Who shot her? We have Strength. So I'll stick that to the side for a moment. I'm going to pull from my Defining Characteristics Oracle. Let's just shuffle it for a bit. Strength could represent someone who's a fire sign, particularly Leo. You know, fire is Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius in their sun, moon, or rising. And with that, personality traits like a Leo. Then build, and we'll see what the cards say. Spirit, is there any additional characteristics, traits, attributes that you can share about, I gotta hit my gut. Brown eyes, but when I get this card, and if you all ever watched the Felicia Johnson readings that I did, that case really still haunts me today. There's a few cases that really just haunt me, and that's one of them. The gentleman, I think his people is Nigerian. If I think so. I think he might. I think the main suspect in the Felicia Johnson case is Nigerian. Hey, don't be all getting up in my comments saying, you know, oh, you can't trust the Nigerians. You're in my ancestry. I have to tell you all, I actually have Nigerian roots from Ghana, Benin and Togo. You know, like I have roots from there. So I'm far removed from those roots, you know, in the sense that my generations of ancestors have been in the U.S. for hundreds of years. But let's, you know, we don't want to be xenophobic or what have you, okay? We don't want that. But what I was saying about this, I went off on a tangent. The gentleman who is considered the suspect looks just like this guy. Looks just like this guy, and it freaked me out. I think that's why her case, aside from the fact that he dismembered her in such a horrific way, I think that's why that case sticks with me. But it also sticks with me because I remember this car jumping out and it landing on the table, and I was like, in the reading, in the video, I'm like, oh, and this person may even look like him. And sure enough, looks just like him. So it could be somebody who's brown skin, Black, you know, African American or African descent, brown eyes, kind of fiery energy. We see that with the Knight of Wands, with wands representing a fire sign as well, or a fury. Is like a fury type of personality. Anything else, Spirit? Something striking about his eyes. Oh. I'm not getting much from this one, but I'll show it to you all anyway. It says Asian descent. Not maybe of Asian kind of features, maybe more slanted eyes. I'm not sure. I'm getting a weak energy here, so we'll just stick that there. But I want to show you all the other cards, and then we'll just see also if we could pick up on anything about like other attributes. Okay, so we've got brown eyes, hazel eyes. When we've got two colored eyes, what this is telling me, there's something about his eye shape, and that's why I said that Asian descent card, when I looked at it, I'm like, maybe it's something that he's got brown eyes, but it's the shape of the eyes. Or you know how some people have brown eyes and brown skin, but their eye color is like almost like a not hazel, but it's like a lighter brown. Or you could just, there's something striking about this person's eyes. The other thing about this person is something about their teeth, crooked teeth, buck teeth, I won't say a missing tooth, but there's something about this person's teeth that stands out about this person. Okay. I wonder, let me see if there's any other decks that I want to tap into. 1 second. Hold on, friends. I am getting a couple other decks here. Okay, so what about any positive attributes? He may appear to be the total package on the outside, yay. Or maybe he's attracted to her because she's the total package. You see how this woman is here and there's this male here? This could be a friend, though. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intimate partner. It could be like an intimate friendship. Total package. Okay. Now, one card from this deck. Spirit, can you share with us? Less so overly complicated. Yeah. I get that sense that this person, whoever did this shooting, whoever orchestrated this. Remember, in part 1, I was like, I don't know if somebody operated alone here. But regardless, whoever's responsible is overly complicated. Overly complicated. That could be run the gamut. Finances a mess. Emotionally a mess. Constantly complicating things. Everything they do is a complication. Everything they think and feel, complicated. Okay? However they move, complicated. Overly complicated. That's what I'm picking up on here. Okay. Next up. So, yeah, I'm getting a strong sense that it's a male, but when I see these females here, and the strength card is also there, I get a sense that it may seem like one person did this all by themselves, but it's not. It's like they may have had help or by a woman or women. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to pull. All right, let's move on to the next question. Stay on topic, Kim. All right. We want to now know what was going on in her professional life. What was going on in Eunice's professional life? Okay, the World. That's a very favorable card to get. The World. Okay. This is about accomplishment, achievement, completing things, getting things done, feeling on top of the world. She was feeling like, there were certain things in her career or professional life. Remember, she was a councilwoman, but I think she also had another, like 9 to 5 type job, like an analyst job. So I think there were some parts of that may have felt a bit mundane, but there was parts where the world was opening up to her in her career life. This was a bright spot in her life. So that's great. We have emotions, I feel like she was on the track of really being emotionally fulfilled from her work with this card. So I don't know. I'm not getting a strong sense that her job or the work that she was doing had anything to do with her, with what happened to her. A halt. Now this is interesting. It says money has come to a complete halt, or money is slow in coming in. Number 2, don't borrow money or don't borrow more than you can repay. And number 3, debt might be piling up. There could have been something in her finances, not so much her career, but something was coming to a halt, coming to an end. More money going out than coming in. That has anything to do. I don't sense that her job or her finances really, her personal finances really had anything to do with what happened. Let's see, writer. Stories matter. That's what stands out to me here. It says your words have power to influence others and find a way that you can contribute. That's what she was doing. That was what she was doing. I don't sense, I'm not going to go much further with this. I intuitively am not picking up on that it was her work as a councilwoman or a businesswoman that had anything to do with what happened to her. So we won't continue to go down that path. Okay. So now we're going to ask about her church life. I'm going to try to remember to put some links in the article, and I suggest you all, if you're interested in her case, check that out, because she actually has some high positions in the church that she was affiliated with, and it raised my eyebrows last night. I'll just say that. So what are the energies surrounding church life? We have 6 of coins, or 6 of pentacles. Okay. And I'm going to ask, did her church life have anything to do with her passing away? Only reason why I'm asking and going there, is because of part 1's reading. When I do these Mystery Mystic readings, they build from the previous reading that I did. I like to have building blocks. So the opening oracle readings guide the type of questions I ask in the detailed tarot and oracle readings and the subsequent readings that I do. Unless we get an update and get additional new information to go into a different direction, that's my reading style. That's how I read. So that's the only reason why I'm delving a bit into this church life situation. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling some ways last night when I was recording her opening oracle reading, when things were starting to be revealed as it relates to her church life. And it could be that she, was helping someone out and they were taking advantage. I say that because of the 6 of Pentacles. Okay. She was helping people out in that role. She loved doing that. She loved being someone who gave of her time, her money, her resources, her energy, her spirit. She was a giver. She was a giver. We see that here. But there was always somebody who was in the need for the taking. And when she couldn't give any more, or given the way that this entity or group or persons wanted her to, that became a problem. The Tower represents the time period of, now, March 21st to April 20th. Now, the shooting was February 1st, but I sense that law enforcement may know a bit more now than they did when the shooting first happened. And it's like I don't want to say a pyramid scheme, but it's almost like their attention is focusing in this direction, and it has been since the Tower period. Something coming crashing down, something not sustainable, some sense of upheaval has occurred that has drawn their attention, law enforcement's attention, to her church life, allegedly. Okay. This is an interesting card to get to the question, did her work or her contributions or her church life have anything to do with what happened to her? And we got the Judgment card. This affirms there's a strong possibility with this yes here. Even the idea of judgment to such a question is kind of scary. Okay. it's got the key word on here: forgiveness, mercy, redemption, reckoning, absolution, judgment, rebirth, awakening. All of these cards are related to church life, and it's kind of scary. Okay. It's like being called to the heavens. Feeling justified to do whatever you are doing, too. Oh, my God. This card flipped out. Archangel Michael, protection, preventing from harm, divine intervention. Okay. I could be wrong, folks, and that's okay. I don't have to be married to being raped, but hopefully police is really looking at the ties here. Yeah. Okay. We have retaliation, punish, payback, revenge. Okay. Somebody was retaliating because they weren't getting what they need or want anymore. Something came to a sudden end. Something was going to come to an end. Something needed to come to an end. This person could have been someone she met through church members or met at the church. It could be tied to the church. Maybe they weren't going to, maybe she was going to be affiliated with some other church or entity. That was going to be a problem. We have retaliation. Somebody needed to punish her. Atonement is another word I think of with judgment. The judgment card is not here. It's just a word I think of. Yeah, when I think of the word judgment. Verge, about to reveal or confess. Now, this is interesting. This could speak to either law enforcement being on the verge of figuring this connection out, or they already have, or about to reveal this connection. What's interesting to me about Eunice's case is that her family has indicated they have been in the complete dark, that police have said nothing about the investigation. Now, that's not uncommon. That happens. Depending on the type of case that it is. If the suspect is known, then police will reveal more information to the family, provided that there's no links between the family and the person of interest or a suspect. In this case, the family has gotten nothing. The husband has gotten no information, according to him, about where the police are in the investigation. So I find that interesting. Her family, I don't get a sense at all that they had anything to do with it, and they're mourning her loss. But I do sense that they may be aware of who the person or persons is responsible and who's involved, and police do not want the investigation compromised. I also get a sense with this confess card, and I'm hoping that this is the case, that a confession is coming, and somebody needed to seek forgiveness or mercy from either God, the courts, from her family. But there's that. Yeah. But it may take, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll pray for that. We're going to pray on that. Okay. Last question before we wrap up this part of the reading. I may do a part 3, but it may not come. We'll see. I'll see if I have time. I'm kind of busy with taxes. I'm last minute Nelly. And also I have some client readings I got to wrap up. So if I don't get to it, I will make a point to put it on my calendar to get to part 3 if I can't do it this week. I'll try and do it sometime in the future. But now we want to ask Spirit, what is next for the investigation? We have the Empress. It's encouraging. She's a mom. Her sweet daughter is without her mom, and that's upsetting. Okay, we're gonna see some disappointments. The family, us, whoever's following this case, is gonna see some disappointments, particularly in the summertime. It could be disappointing news, grief, sadness. grief about something that comes out, about something being unstable with the Four of Wands in reverse, an unstable foundation that ties in with the Tower. The Wands represents the season of spring, the timing of weeks. So it could be 4 weeks from now. We learn, or the family, maybe not us, the public, but the family or people close to the investigation learn about something unstable, unstable home, unstable business, unstable life that had influence over what happened to Eunice, okay? And there is just disappointing, really disappointing news, being sad. Also, the Empress represents 2 time periods out of the 78 cards in the Tarot. It's one of 2 cards that represents 2 different seasons. The first season is represented April 21st to May 20th, and the other season is September 21st to October 20th, which is interesting to me. Spirit is probably saying, don't expect much movement. I mean, we might be able to get an update in the coming month between May 21st and April 20th, April 21st to May 20th. But I'm seeing with this card sitting here like this, it's maybe Spirit saying not springtime, but the second time period of September 21st to October 20th. And then somebody atoning during the judgment period of October 21st to November 20th. That could be this coming year, or it could be next year. I really do feel like that the case will be solved at some point in the future. I do. I don't think that I don't think it's going to go like a long, long time being unsolved with the Empress. I don't think so. I think that law enforcement, the reason why they're being very close, keeping things close to the vest, is because they have some critical information going on here. Video, audio, surveillance has been captured. We know that from the night in question. There was surveillance, but there could be other surveillance in the times, the weeks leading up to her death. Audio recordings, when they start to go through phone records, capturing phone calls, or maybe doing the whole thing where, you know, they mic, what do you call it when they not, you know, when they mic up someone and they go undercover, not undercover, but what do they call it? I don't know why I can't think right now. But you know, when you're trying to catch somebody in a lie and you have to mic up and you go meet the person. Why can't I think of what that is? Let me know in the comment section. I forgot. I normally don't forget these things. Surveillance, but there's going to be some of this type of evidence that comes into play for this case. We're going to be seeing or feeling or experiencing heavy speculation. There's already heavy speculation. Republicans are saying Democrats had something to do with her death, even though she's a councilwoman. She's not a congresswoman. She's a councilwoman. Democrats are saying, Republicans didn't like that she was a shining star. She was 30 years old, and you know she doesn't represent what Republicans typically are. So maybe they took her out. There's speculation about maybe it's her husband, or all this different heavy speculation surrounding what happened to her. Footprints, and murder for hire. That's the last card, and that ties in back to part 1's reading and what I was feeling intuitively. But footprints, what do you think about that? Footprints could be, there's even footprints here. Actual footprints. It could be, that could be critical. It could be digital footprints. It could be footprint, just the idea of footprints. Sometimes it's digital footprints when this card comes up, and sometimes it's like literal footprints, like what made with your feet or your hands, whatever the case may be. And murder for hire, someone having their hand in making this all happen. Okay. Making this happen. All right, friends, what do you think? I want to hear from you in the comment section. Share with me your thoughts, your intuitive hits. I would love to hear from you. And on your way out, please hit the like button. It really helps me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. And also, if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing and then hit the subscribe button. I would love it if you join me. All right, friends, take good care of yourselves. Much love to all of you. Please take care. And I will see you all in the next one. I'm going to make these neat, probably take 2 pictures, and you'll see them as we roll on out of the video. Bye for now.